Hi, my name is Barbara Davis. I'm an artist in Montgomery, Alabama, and I've lived here my whole life. And I am very grateful to Paul for allowing me the opportunity to talk about my art and how my faith informs my art. Um, Mine is different probably from others who've presented here in that I don't do a lot of paintings of biblical stories or portraits of Jesus, but in other things, in landscapes and still life that reflect light. And I'll talk more about it. I do some little angels though from time to time. Get out of the way here, which I really enjoy doing. This one is in oil, actually mixed media. It's entitled Awakening, and it makes me think of Isaiah chapter 60, verse 1. Arise, shine, for your light has come, and the glory of the Lord is risen upon you. Just a depiction of cherubs sort of waking up. I did it around Easter of last year, I believe, and just that new life that he brings. And then this one is based on an acolyte at my church. And as I'll talk about more, it's the light that drew me to this. You see the candle and the way it shines on her face. To me, it's all about light. Genesis 1:3, then God said, let there be light, and there was light. John 8:12, then Jesus spoke to them, saying, I am the light of the world. He who follows me shall not walk in darkness, but have the light of life. It's light that makes everything beautiful to me. This is a church, a nearby church. I paint there quite often, and I'll tell you why. It's because the light falls across this church in such a beautiful way. You get the most gorgeous shadows, and of course, being there at the church and the gardens are so beautiful. They glorify God. The beauty just glorifies God, and it is so special to paint there. But that light draws me in. So even in simple, ordinary objects like this pumpkin and pots of chrysanthemums, what draws me is the light. The outdoor sunlight, which I love to set up a still life outside in the natural light. The sunlight just pouring across it is just like nothing else. So that is my great joy. This one is a nocturne in the light at night from a nearby street light. I'll say this one has an interesting story in that I did this in the pandemic. I was riding around with my husband. Not that we're out of the pandemic, right? But in the beginning of the pandemic, when we were all shut down and couldn't go anywhere, my husband and I were riding around late one night and just really amazed at the empty streets and the quietness, and it was so surreal. And it was early spring. The trees were just starting to get their new leaves, and the light shining through that tree and lighting up those wires. It just struck me the beauty of the light in the midst of the darkness and the isolation and the fear and the unknown. And it just was a metaphor for the light of Christ that brings us hope and brings us beauty and brings us joy when things seem to be so opposite. So it's not just a scene of an empty street, and I hope that people will look more deeply at my art and see these things. One of my favorite things in the world to do is to go paint outside in plein air. And I am just always enthralled by the beauty of creation, and in particular, the skies. I look up and just see his handiwork and his beauty, and we know that verse that the heavens declare the glory of God, and it is so true. You feel so close to him when you're looking up at the beauty of these skies. Here's another one. I can't get enough of it, really. When I was a little girl, I read these Bible story books. You've probably all seen them, and the ones they had in dentist offices and doctor's offices. They were beautifully illustrated, honestly. They had such gorgeous paintings in them. And the very last one, of course, was Revelation, and it had Jesus coming to us from the clouds, descending with sun rays shining through clouds. And so in my little girl mind, every time I looked up at the sky and saw sun rays shining through the clouds, I thought, this is it. He's here. He's coming. I'm about to see him. And I know we will one day. And I can't wait for that day. In the meantime, I look up at the skies and paint them and think of him and the mansion he is preparing for each one of us there. Here's another one, a plein air landscape that it just, I feel so close to the Lord when I am out painting his creation in the beauty of the light streaming through. It just enthralls me, his creativity in each leaf, each flower, even the tree bark, the rocks, everything. And I think of creation praising him. You know, in Psalms it says that the rocks and the trees will praise him, and they seem to even now, and I know they will perfectly one day. But in the meantime, we just are out there praising him together in the light and in the paint. I'll leave you with this one that is a still life. And to me, it reminds me of Matthew 5:14. You are the light of the world. A city that is set on a hill cannot be hidden. I think of us as being vessels of light, vessels of his light, bearers of his light. And just am in awe that we have that awesome responsibility and privilege to be his light bearers. But thank you for looking at my art. Thank you for stepping in here today. And I just pray God's blessings on you, and pray that you all will shine even as this painting indicates. So thank you. Bye.